Hey, I'm Maurice Dusheko. Welcome to your Stretch for Strength class. Today's class is going to be all about the hips. We've got a nice full body hip focused workout today. So for props, all you need is your yoga mat and 2 yoga blocks. Let's get started. All right, so joining me on the mat, you're standing feet hip width apart, nice soft bend in the knees, zipping up that pelvic floor. And we're just going to start by dropping the head and rolling all the way down to the ground. And then rolling up, head comes up last. So spinal rolls, rolling down nice and slow and coming up nice and easy, just warming up the body. Keep going. I'm going to face the side. I like to exhale on the way down and inhale on the way up. Nice and slow, standing tall, and then rolling down, relaxing the head at the bottom. Rolling through each vertebra, and let's do one more. Exhale down, deep bend in the knees, and rolling up, switching it up into an arch down, leading with the heart, melt at the bottom, and rolling up as before. So this time we're throwing our head back, arching the spine, coming all the way down, and rolling up, nice and slow. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale. Let's do 2 more. Nice and slow. Warming up the spine before we get into the hips. Inhale. And now when we get to the bottom, let's hold it there. And let's just walk it out. Relax the head. Keep the legs nice and bent. Walk it out. Twisting action in the hips. Relax the neck. Getting into the lower back. This is also going to help with the hips as we loosen things up. Good. And now you can start to bend and straighten one leg at a time, if that's comfortable for you. Nice and easy. You can always do this on some yoga blocks if you need to. And now let's walk it forward into a downward dog position. So everything is hip width or shoulder width apart. I'm pushing the floor away from me. If your heels are lifted and your knees are slightly bent, that's absolutely fine. Just trying to work to straight legs and heels down over time. Hold it there. Breathe. Exhale. Good. Bringing the feet together. And I'm just bending my knee. And I'm going to start with some hip circles. So keeping the knee nice and bent. Nice, round, juicy circles. Going one direction. Pushing the floor away from you. Making them as big as possible. And visualizing what is going on in the hip socket. Just imagining all that fluid moving around, lubricating the hips. And let's change directions. Now I'm doing inward circles. And don't worry too much about what the other leg is doing. Just focus on the working hip and warming it up. Pushing the floor away from you. Core is engaged. 3, 2, 1. And stepping forward into a lunge position. All right, you're down nice and low. And I've got one hand on either side of my foot. And I'm just going to bend and straighten this back leg. I'm squeezing my glutes as I'm straightening that leg. I'm keeping my hips nice and low. If you need to, you can have your yoga blocks nearby to give yourself a bit of extra height. If you're struggling to get your hips down nice and low to the floor, that is absolutely fine. So holding those hips down, bending and straightening the back knee. And you should start to feel a small burn in that quad. Good. Okay, we're going to hold it there. Now you can either just hold on your yoga blocks if you like, or you can press your hands into your thigh and just kind of hold it for a moment or two, lifting the heart away from the floor, still squeezing my glutes, getting those hips nice and low, melting down, heart is up, hips are down, and then hands back into the blocks or onto the floor, and we're just going to push up into a triangle position. And then back down into a low lunge. So we're just cycling through these 2 movements, just warming up those hips inner thighs, hamstrings, and quads. So you can make this movement as big or as small as what you can manage. If the range of motion is very small, that's fine, don't worry. And then over time, you're working to get a nice full range of motion. And the pace is quite brisk so that we can really warm up the temperature of those muscles. 2 more. Last one, hold the low lunge. I'm going to untuck my toes, lifting that knee off the ground, and I'm just going to switch into a Kazak Lunge and then back into a low lunge. So I'm swiveling the hip and I'm warming up this hip joint to do the movement. You can always use your blocks for support if you need to. And that front leg, the quad, is going to be working a little harder just to maintain your balance, but it's absolutely normal. Good, doing really, really well. Let's do 3 more. 2. And last one. And then just pushing back into your triangle and then coming into a forward fold. Again, you might need to bring your blocks with you. If you struggle to forward fold, the wider you open your legs, the easier this will be on your hamstrings. So we're just going to have our hands into the floor, and I just want you to wiggle your hips side to side. Toes are pointing directly forward, so we're not opening. Toes are facing forward, they're parallel. And we're just sliding those hips side to side, and you should feel a little pull in the inner thigh. Good. Remember to breathe here. So starting to use the muscles instead of just stretch them. Good, and now we're going to come into a bit of a flat back. So we're not all the way parallel to the ground. You're kind of halfway between parallel and upright. And we're just going to bend into a side lunge and then staying quite low to the other side. So we're not coming all the way up. Although if your knees are hurting, you can do that. But we're staying kind of low in almost a horse stance. And this is going to really work those inner thighs. And inner thigh strength really helps with hip mobility. Good. Breathe. Good. Trying to get low down each time you move over to the side. Good. And second last one. Switching over back into your low lunge. Let's come back into your downward facing dog, bending that knee, and we've got to do knee circles on the other side. Outward circles, moving nice and slow. Good, making them nice and big, trying to get that knee all the way up to the ceiling. Keep pushing the floor away from you. Core is engaged. And change directions, inward circles now. So I'm conscious of squeezing my glutes in the working leg. Always good to have the glutes involved. Being such a strong muscle, there's no need for them to take it easy. The more they can be involved, the stronger they're going to get, and that's just going to support you with everything you do in life. Last one, and then bringing it forward into a lunge position. And again, you can have your yoga blocks if you need to, sinking down those hips as low as you can, back toes are tucked, squeezing the glutes, and we're just doing our dancer's lunge, bending and straightening that back knee as much as you can. Good. If you're down, inhale and exhale. Good. And now let's hold that leg straight, either on your blocks or you're resting your hands against your thigh, pushing away. Heart is lifting, hips are dropping, and just holding it there, still squeezing the glutes at the back, lowering those hips, really trying to open this hip flexor here and engaging the glutes and the quads. And then hands are down, and we're just going to push back into a triangle, forward and back, nice dynamic movement. You should feel this in the front hamstring. You might need to shorten the range of motion and be up on your blocks. So you just do what you need to. Inhale, exhale, good. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it down. You're going to untuck those toes, straighten the back knee, and then we're just swiveling into our Kazak Lunge. So you've got an open hipped position, really using the opposite glute and quad to help balance you, using your hands. Good. Some good work here for the hips, mobilizing those hip joints, strengthening in the thighs. 3, 2, 1. Good. You can drop that knee. We're going to come into what I like to call a Swastika Sit. So it's quite precise. You've got your front leg, your shin in line with the short edge of your yoga mat. Foot is flexed, and the back leg is at a 90 degree angle, so that you're kind of in a swastika shape. If you need extra support, you can have a yoga block underneath your opposite glute, but try it first without. You might be surprised. So we really want to keep this nice square 90 shape, and we want the feet to be flexed. Hands are in front of you, and we're just going to sweep side to side over that front leg. So you're trying to get past that leg. You're trying to almost lean all the way forward over the toes. And this should really, you should feel it in the glutes, but it's also a nice warm-up for the hips. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And now we're going to do a 3-point pigeon. So you're just going to move the hands over to the front foot, and you're just going to kind of lean forward and hold it there. I'm trying to keep the other knee down. So if this knee is poking up, just keep trying to push it down. You can even use your hand to push it down. And then all the time you're trying to lower that torso over the front foot. Then coming to directly in front of the leg and leaning forward. And then switch over to the other side in a bit of a twist and leaning forward. Back to the middle. Back to the front. Let's do one more round. Middle, side, and last one, middle. All right, so we're just going to be doing some Swastika Switchovers. So for this one, we're going to start off using our hands to help us, keeping the feet nice and flexed. We're going to lean back and just switch over to the other side. So we're going to do a couple of those switches, using our hands to help us. And when you've got the movement, you're going to try and not use the hands. This is going to force your body weight to be more upright, and it's going to require a little bit more core strength and hip strength. So you're not allowed to lean back as much. And just moving nice and slowly, taking your time. Looking good. And last one. Okay, upping the intensity just a little bit. What we're going to do now is, as we come to the middle, we're going to extend into a straddle, feet are flexed, and then back to the other side. Extend into straddle, and other side. So again, you can use your hands to support you. Just really stretch those legs as much as possible. And once you've got it, you want to start to try and let go, even if it's just one hand at a time, until you've got your balance and you're able to control the movement using your core. Good. Now, to take things up a notch, we're going to grab our block, and on each point, we're going to lean slightly forward. As low as you can, straight flat back. So we're not rounding, we're leaning forward, extending the arms. To the middle. And to the other side. To the middle. And to the other side. Last set. Other side. Last one. And then let's come back to this side swastika. So just getting your alignment correct. Feet are flexed, 90-degree angle between back legs, shin and thigh, and the same with the front. And let's do those sweeps. So trying to lean forward past that front leg, Nice straight flat back. I'm almost leaning with my heart as opposed to the crown of my head. That's going to really help you get that knee down. Using the arms to help you. All right, and then let's do the 3-point pigeon. So starting over at the front leg, looking forward, leaning forward, and coming down. To the middle, and twisting round to the back. And again, middle, nice and slow, really deep, juicy stretches here. So take your time, breathe. There should be no tension, even if there is slight discomfort. Last one. Good. All right, we're going to be doing some Swastika Switchover get up. So we're going to start by using our hands and then try and do it without the hands. So just like before, we're switching over. On the other side, we're going to just rise ever so slightly. And then coming back down, you can use your hands and coming up. So just move nice and slowly. And then once you feel like you've got this, you can start to do it without hands. Building a lot of strength here in the hips, in the glutes, in the core. Nice and slow and controlled. Good. And last one. And slowly coming out. Let's just bring the legs together. Shake it out. Take a deep breath in. Okay. We're going to go back to our pigeon position. This time we're in more of a traditional pigeon. So instead of the leg being at a parallel angle to your mat, you can bring the foot in towards the pelvis and lengthen the back leg. So you're trying to roll that hip forward. If you can't manage this, you might want to get a block for support and just place it under the glute of the bent leg, just to give you a little bit of extra height. Now you want to kind of be on the edge of your mat. If you're doing this on a carpet, you might need to put on a pair of socks, but if you're on a floor that's smooth, you won't have any problem at all. So we're just going to be leaning forward, straightening this back leg, and then we're just kind of bringing this leg forward to as far in front of you as you can, and then back again. So we're just kind of swiveling the leg on the smooth floor with control. Just again working the rotation, all those little muscles in the hip socket area. Nice and slow and controlled, trying to keep this leg straight. Now your range of motion might not be as big as mine, so you might only be able to get around parallel, which is fine. Just watch how the hip is rotating. So when I get to about parallel, I have to switch my hips around so that I can bring my foot forward. I can't really do it with the hip facing forward. So just using that rotation. And I'm swaying my body forward and back as I need to. Last one. And then let's change sides. So switching over to pigeon, making sure that you're rolling this hip forward. If you need to, you've got your block to place underneath your opposite glute. So just getting my toe onto the floor, leaning forward to help me, and I slowly swivel that leg forward. I'm coming up as I bring it around, and then I bring my body back down. Forward, nice and slow, and back. Working within your range of motion. Keep breathing. Good. 2 more. And last one. Really good. Bring the legs together. Shake them out. So the hips should be feeling really, really warm now. We're going to move into something that's a little bit more strength building as opposed to stretching. So we're going to come into an all fours position and just check your alignment. You always want shoulders directly over wrists and hips directly over knees. Everything shoulder width apart. Now for this one, Very important that we don't collapse into the spine. So I want you to have a neutral spine. You're almost pushing the floor away from you. There might even be a slight rounding in the upper back. I want you to imagine that you've got a cup of warm tea on your lower back and you don't want that to fall. So you're not collapsing into the spine at any point in this exercise. We're going to be doing fire hydrants. So you're going to be lifting a bent leg sideways as high as you can without collapsing into the spine. So the range of motion might be very, very small. It might only be sort of 45 degrees, which is fine. Just go nice and slow. Hold it at the top and then come down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Keep being aware of that cup of tea on your back. So here we are using glutes, building glute strength, and that is actually going to help us with supporting a straddle position or a wide leg position. So although you need flexibility in the hips, you need strength in the glutes to maintain that position. So that's what we're doing. Good. We're going to hold this last one. Hold it there as high as you can. And I just want you to make little circles with that knee. Keep visualizing that cup of tea, so keep your spine very still. Abs are engaged. Change directions. Breathe. You might really be starting to feel those glutes burn, which is good. That's what we want. And coming down, pushing back into a quick child's pose. And let's do the other side. So I'm going to turn around so that you can see. So just getting your alignment once again. And we're going to be doing our fire hydrants. Inhale, exhale, lifting that knee up to the side. So working within your range of motion, keeping your spine neutral, trying not to swing or rock side to side, really focusing on the glute strength that we're building to do this exercise. That's it. Push the floor away from you. Core is engaged. 3 more. 2 more. Nice and slow here. Last one, we're going to hold it up. And little circles. One direction, really, really small. Trying to keep the height of the knee throughout. And changing directions. Good. Keep breathing. I know it's challenging. You can do it. And coming down. And a quick child's pose. Breathe. We've got 2 more of these hip exercises and then a puppy pose and you're done. So back to the first side. We're just going to up the intensity a little bit. So you're going to see how this goes. Inhale, exhale to fire hydrant. Inhale, exhale, you're going to try and extend that leg. So we're bending and straightening that leg. Bending and straightening. So 2 things. You want to try and maintain the height of that knee. So if it keeps dropping as you bend it, then rather keep that knee nice and low towards the ground and then straighten the leg where it is. Also, you want to try and bring that knee as high up towards the shoulder as what you can, but you want to maintain that position as you straighten the leg. So if you can't maintain it, then don't bring the leg as up to the shoulder. And then you'll do it more on the diagonal instead of at 90 degrees. So just work with whatever you've got, work with integrity, go nice and slow, and you're just trying to build strength in the correct way. So there's no point in cheating because you're only cheating yourself. Keep that knee lifted and forward. Last one. And bringing down and stretching out your child's pose. So really working those muscles, perhaps in a different way to what you normally do. Let's do the other side. We're almost there. So not only is this building mobility in the hips, but it's building a great booty as well. All right, inhale. Exhale, fire hydrant. Decide where your knee is at and keep it there. Exhale, extend. Inhale, bend. Exhale, extend. So working really hard to keep your spine nice and still. The only thing moving is your shin. Try not let anything else move. Work nice and slowly. Always trying your very best. 2 more. Last one. Coming down. Child's pose. One more tough one, and then we stretch it out. Rolling up. Again, I'm going to turn around. So for this one, you're going to need your yoga blocks, and we're going to put them somewhere in the middle of your body. The closer they are to your face, the harder the exercise will be. So adjust as you need to. You need about a foot's distance in between them. So you're on all fours, and you've got your leg extended diagonally out to the back. Inhale, and exhale, you're going to be doing a tap to come over the blocks, making little rainbows. So just go nice and slowly. The leg is straight. Now we're trying not to lean away from the blocks. You really want to keep your body as close to the blocks as you can, so that we're having to work the obliques just as much as the glutes. Nice and slow, little taps, slow and controlled. Really good. If you need to do this with the knee bent, then that's exactly what you do. You just imagine that you're going over the blocks. Last one. Keep breathing, you've got this. And child's pose. Got the other side, and then you are done with all this painful glute work. So we're almost there, looking really, really strong. So extending that leg out diagonally to the back, push the floor away from you, core is tight. Inhale and exhale, let's go. Little taps. Remember, you can bend the knee. Nice and slow. Don't let the body swing away from those blocks. You should feel it in the obliques as well as the glutes. 2 more. And last one for the day. And let's stretch it out. Good. Moving those blocks. Nice, relaxing child's pose. Let's move into a puppy pose. So you're on all fours. Open the knees. You can even open them a little wider if you want. And then we're just going to extend the hands, temple the fingers, and you're going to roll down. You ideally want your chest and your chin on the floor. If you need to, you can put your forehead on the floor. Just giving the upper back a bit of a stretch. Hold it there. Inhale. And exhale. Rolling up. Let's take a nice deep breath in. And down. One more of those. Inhale. And down. And there you have it. Well done for that hip opening class. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that your glutes won't be too sore tomorrow. And I will see you in the next lesson.